Steve Reed, our two starting guards tonight. Alec, why don't you tell the people just a little bit where you're from and where you played your high school ball, and in your case, where you played your junior college ball.
Okay. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. I played for East St. Louis Senior High School for 2 years. My sophomore year, I broke my leg, so I missed that season. I went to junior college in Coffeyville, Kansas.
Okay, Carl, how about yourself?
Well, I played for Inglewood High School, located on the south side of Chicago. I played all 4 years for that high school.
You did a little switchback, Carl. You were here as a freshman and then off to a junior college. Where was that?
I went to Gulf Coast Community College in Panama City, Florida.
Okay. Steve Reed, the other starting guard for tonight. Steve, where are you from?
I'm from Warsaw, Indiana, and played my ball at Warsaw, Indiana, and I'm a sophomore this year.
Okay, we've got sophomore and 2 juniors. Fellas, let's take a look at what brought you to Indiana State. Alec, who was the first contact that you knew of that had contacted Alec Gilbert to come to Indiana State University?
Coach Hodges, he was the assistant coach then. He came out to see me play a game and talked to me about coming out for maybe a visit in spring sometime. And I thought about it, and I thought I might like to come out and see the place.
When was the first time, Alec, that you really got serious thinking that Indiana State was a place you wanted to play?
About a week or so before I decided to sign. I thought about all the opportunities I had to sign, and I thought this might be the best place for me to come this year.
What is your major in school?
Criminology.
No. Carl, how about yourself? Up there in Chicago, a big city, and I'm sure a lot of recruiters in town. Who was it that contacted you, and when did you decide to come to Indiana State?
Well, it was a friend. He had sent a letter out to Indiana University. At the time, I was a senior, but somehow it got switched around to where it ended up in Indiana State. And one day in practice, Coach Hodges, he was sitting in practice, and the coach called me in and come talk to him, and he started talking about Indiana State and the program that they was trying to build. And he was telling me about Larry and all this, and I started getting interested.
Okay, Steve, an Indiana product. I'm sure there's quite a few coaches that looked at Steve Reed. Steve, when did you decide that Indiana State was the place you wanted to be?
Well, I was kind of up in the air to where I wanted to go until, Coach Hodges got in contact with me, and he explained, the situation, and when I was looking at what school I wanted to go to, like, the main concern was, would I get a chance to play, and I thought, for me, this would be the best place to go because I thought, I had a good chance to play as much as possible.
Okay, fellas, basketball seems to take an awful lot of your time. Do you find that you have enough time to devote to the studies and devote to the things you like to do with your free time? Steve, what do you feel like? You're a business administration major.
Well, sometimes, you run into a little problem with your studies and stuff. Like this semester, we'll be gone on the road a lot and miss quite a bit of class. But we try and make it up as best as we can. Some players take their books along with them on some trips, if you have to. As far as free time, you got pretty much free time to yourself, like during the week, especially if you don't play till Saturday. We play Saturday, Thursday, and Monday games, and during the week you usually have a lot of free time to yourself, so I usually keep myself occupied.
Carl, I understand you're quite a pool player. How do you find for free time and keeping up with the books? Does it bother you any?
Well, I say we maybe practice 14 hours a week, and after practice maybe, we go 2 hours, and I say around 6 o'clock you have maybe to 6 o'clock to 12 to do whatever you want to do as far as studying or going to the movies or, whatever you want to do. You have enough time, and mainly things I like to do as a hobby is go to concerts and go to movies and just, go to some kind of sports activity that's around, just keep myself occupied.
How do you find living in the dorms? Is this all right?
Well, it's all right, I guess. You adapt to it after a while. I mean, you may not like it at first, but after a while you kind of adapt to it because you're here,
Are they feeding you the least bit well, and is it quiet enough to get any sleep?
At times, most of the time, it's pretty good up here, you know.
Do you find yourself distracted by interviews and publicity and well-wishers? Is this bothering, do you find that this bothers your game at all?
No, not really. I kind of just take that part of the game here. I see a lot of people get involved with the team here. You know, it's like it's our team, the whole campus and everyone. I kind of enjoy that, really, knowing that people really want to know how the team's doing and want to make us want us to do well. I enjoy that, really. I cope with it very well.
Well, no, it really gives you something to, you know, go laugh about, because it's nice that everybody is complimenting you of winning and playing good, and all the publicity is just good, you know. You know, you can't ask no more than what the people do for you around here as far as publicity and, you know, whatever. It's all nice.
Steve, along the same lines with the publicity, the national rankings, the undefeated season at the time that we're taping this thing for airing, I presume, at the Wichita State game. Do you find this to add pressure to the situation, or does it actually provide you with momentum?
Well, I kind of feel that it provides a little momentum, you know, for your team. There's kind of that cushion there. You know, you seem to be going along pretty good, and everything's going well. You know, we haven't been beaten, and we really don't know what it's like. And, you know, that's fine with me. I hope we keep it up.
Carl, road trips. We're on one. You're going to be gone from Terre Haute, Indiana for 4 days, and you're going to cover a lot of miles. Does Carl Nix enjoy going on the road?
Well, road trips are fun. Now, I like them. It's only one thing that really bothers me about road trips, and that's getting your flights at big airports and stuff on time, because usually we have layovers 2 hours, and it gets real boring just sitting around in the airport waiting on the flight to get back home or to try to make it some other place. But other than that, the road trips, they super. I love them.
Alec, playing in front of a hostile crowd, away from home, 10,000 people at Wichita, another 10,000 up at Creighton. Not very many of them are going to be pulling for Alec Gilbert. Does this bother Alec at all?
No, not really. It kind of gets me up for the game to know that there's a lot of people out there not wanting us to win. It kind of makes me play harder just to show them how good of a team we have.
Steve, turning it back over to our situation. What about our hometown crowd? Does this help pump Steve Reed up, or does it make him a little nervous that he has to put on a show in front of the home folk?
Well, so far this year, we're undefeated on our home court, and that's a pretty big advantage. You know, it provides a lot of confidence for our team and our players. You know, I think that all of our team feels that, you know, nobody can come in here and beat us. This is our house, and we have a really super crowd, and they get up to the games as, you know, as much as the players, and that really helps.
What kind of goals do you have in mind? Have you thought about that now, or are you thinking about the next ball game? What would Alec Gilbert like to do when he's finished playing ball at Indiana State University?
Really, I'd really like to maybe get into my field a little deeper, criminology, and maybe be a probation officer, maybe even be a policeman or something like that. But as far as goals, immediate goals after I leave here, I really couldn't tell you.
Graduation's a year and a half away. What do you think?
Well, my goals right now is to, I would like to get a degree in physical education and play professional basketball. And if I'm not that fortunate, I'd like to coach, you know, stick around, you know, basketball. And one of my main goals, I would like to play in the 1980 Olympics.
Well, I'm not really sure either. I just want to make my best of, you know, what I've got right now, and try and do the best I can in school and see what I can learn, and hopefully I'll figure something out, you know, when I graduate.